Terrorism and warfare. Terrorism is different from warfare in that it exists outside and purposely operates against the principles of war as they are regulated by the international community of nations. Unlike warfare, terrorist acts are often oriented towards civilian populations or are indiscriminate in their infliction of violence. Whereas war operates on the basis of standards of international law, involving legally recognized methods and actors, soldiers, terrorist activities are conducted by individuals and groups who do not enjoy any legally recognized status. Terrorism usually involves a type of political crime that emphasizes violence as a mechanism to promote change. Whereas some political criminals sell secrets, spy, and the like, terrorists systematically murder and destroy or threaten such violence to terrorize individuals, groups, communities, or governments into conceding to the terrorists' political demands. Because terrorists lack large armies and formidable weapons, their use of subterfuge, secrecy, and hit-and-run tactics are designed to give them a psychological advantage and the power to neutralize the physical superiority of their opponents. Terrorism for promoting or opposing an ideology. However, it may be erroneous to assume that terrorists have political goals. Some may try to bring about what they consider to be social reform, for example, by attacking women wearing fur coats or sabotaging property during a labor dispute. Terrorism must also be distinguished from conventional warfare because it requires secrecy and clandestine operations to exert social control over large populations. So terrorist activities may be aimed at promoting an ideology other than political change. Terrorism and guerrilla warfare. The word terrorist is often used interchangeably with the word guerrilla, but the terms are quite different. Guerrilla comes from the Spanish term meaning little war. Guerrillas are armed military bands, typically located in rural areas, that attack military, police, and government officials in an effort to destabilize the existing government. Their organizations can grow quite large and eventually take the form of a conventional military force. Some guerrilla bands infiltrate urban areas, urban guerrillas. For the most part, guerrillas are a type of insurgent band. Terrorist and insurgency. As commonly used, an insurgency is somewhat different from both guerrilla warfare and terrorism. The typical goal of an insurgency is to confront the existing government for control of all or a portion of its territory, or force political concessions in sharing political power by competing with the opposition government for popular support. Revolution and terrorism. Revolution, from the Latin revolutio, turn, roll back, is generally seen as a civil war fought between nationalists and a sovereign power that holds control of the land, or between the existing government and local groups over issues of ideology and power. Historically, the American Revolution may be considered an example of a struggle between nationalistic groups and imperialistic overseas government. Classic examples of ideological rebellions are the French Revolution, which pitted the middle class and urban poor against the aristocracy, and the Russian Revolution of 1917, during which the Tsarist government was toppled by the Bolsheviks. More recent ideological revolutions have occurred in China, Cuba, Nicaragua, and Chile, to name but a few. While some revolutions, such as the American, French, and Russian, rely on armed force, terror activities, and violence, others can be non-violent, depending on large urban protests and threats. Such was the case when Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi was toppled in Iran in the 1979 revolution that transformed Iran into an Islamic republic under the rule of Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. Similar events unfolded in Egypt in early 2011 in the effort to topple the government of Hosni Mubarak that had been in power for 30 years.